Well, hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode 106 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. We're live today just on YouTube and Rumble, because as I was hitting the just go on live stream, there was an error on X. So, my dear X friends, my dear X and Twitter friends, sadly, we will be just in YouTube and Rumble, but here we are. We have a couple topics today that are going to be, let's say, controversial. Some of them are going to be really interesting. The first topic that we have is why so small? Why is Trump so small? Is the board of peace? What is this about and what are the implications? Another topic is going to be the hoax that liberals and Democrats are trying to push about ICE and a 5-year-old. Let's talk about that. So many RINOs in Congress that there should be something done about them because they are not helping at all. They're just blocking everything that is going to make America great again, including but not limited to the SAVE Act, having ID while voting. Surrogacy. We need to talk about surrogacy. This is going to be interesting because I have let's say some opinions, some things to say about this. We're going to be talking about Andrew Tate defending Candace Owens. You remember that Candace Owens interviewed Andrew Tate at some point, and now he's coming in Candace Owens' defense, and she also said that she's going to do a documentary on Erica Kirk. That would be interesting. And to round up our topics today, we will have Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz with their own paparazzi, speed dialing paparazzi with Backgrid. This is 2021 all over again. This is 2021 all over again. Remember that the best way to support my channel, very easy, just like and subscribe. So many of you are watching, and just takes you less than a second. Liking and subscribing. Everything in this live stream, these live streams are around 1 hour, 2 hours. They've been 2 hours for some time. If you want to watch the independent topics and you don't want to watch the whole live stream, maybe you do want to watch it, but if you want to focus on one topic, there's my Body Language Guy channel, my Royal Rogue channel, and my Power Pundit channel, among others, where you can just catch every single topic independently if you want to share them like that, or just watch, the topics that you want. I'm uploading these shows to Spotify as well, and I really don't remember all the other platforms. Once I upload them to Spotify, they will be blasted to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Sirius XM, iHeartRadio. I don't know, everywhere. So many places that I don't even know. That I want to be literally everywhere, and you can help me by just sharing these shows and these videos, and that would be awesome. There's also a link to my merch in the description of this video, and of course, if you want to donate or become a member of my channel on YouTube, you can do so as well. I also have a couple books, for example, my Body Language in 40 Days book that you can find in the link in the description as well, and my face analysis book. I have a couple more guides coming, but this is for now. I think that we can begin. Make sure that everything here is working nicely. My chat is here. I can show my chat. I can show my headshot. I can show everything. Remember that I'm going to make sure to start and end the clips. Okay, you're gonna notice that. You're gonna notice like I'm saying goodbye. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just saying to the recording stays in place when I send it to my other channel. So, without further ado, just a second. No, this is this was not the moment. That was a false start. So without further ado, we start with our first topic. This is the Board of Peace. You know that Trump has stopped so many wars that he wants to He wants to make the world a better place, stop all these wars. And one of the most important things has been the Israel-Palestinian conflict that Jared Kushner, by the way, has had let's say some ideas, has stopped altogether all that is happening, and that is one of the main points of this Board of Peace. I thought that this was just about the Middle East. By the way, I have a channel about the Middle East. That is like this color, the sand color, but it turns out that it's much more than that. I'd say the first step is taking care about Gaza and the Palestinian people. It originated as part of Trump's comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict following a ceasefire agreement, where the board was meant to oversee reconstruction, implementation of a 20-point peace plan, and long-term stability in Gaza. We have to remember that all this is just possible because, this is not just out of the kindness of Hamas' heart. This is out of, some people, let's say the good guys in this case, have the big guns and the drones and everything in between. And let's say that the peace that we're talking about is basically a very delicate balance between killing each other and blowing to smithereens, which nobody wants. But that is peace through strength. And that is the only way it's going to work. That is the only way it's going to work in basically any case. Very quickly, the mandate expanded to a global scope. This is going to be global in terms of every single country should be interested in being at peace with its neighbors, in being at peace with, every other country. That is the idea, because I remind you that Donald Trump is first and foremost, you might say that he is a peacemaker, but this is basically he is a businessman, and to do business with the world, you need the world. You need the world to be in peace. You need all the commerce channels and everything being operative. You cannot have wars and any of the sort. And so much so that even Putin has agreed, okay, I'm okay with this. Let's do this. I'm going to contribute $1 billion with a B to President Trump's Board of Peace and accepts Trump's offer to join. This is interesting. There's going to be a lot of criticism about this. Oh, Russia is bluffing. Putin is bluffing. But I think if he contributes $1 billion, that is not a bluff. That is an actual thing. So let's see what the Tsar has to say.
He could contribute $1 billion to the Board of Peace from the frozen assets assets frozen by the previous administration, and the remaining funds from the funds frozen in the United States could be used to rebuild territories that suffered during hostilities once we sign a peace deal between.
That is interesting. So Putin is in. That is fascinating. That is a great start. Trump serves as the permanent chairman, with a charter allowing him to hold the position indefinitely, potentially beyond his presidency. That is interesting as well. Several countries have joined or signed on, including reports of Saudi Arabia. By the way, it's interesting for my royal rogues. Prince William is going to do a visit to Saudi Arabia for the first time. That is going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. That is full serendipity in terms that I'm interested in the Middle East, and all of a sudden William wants to go to Saudi Arabia. That is, that there are no coincidences in life. That it says the universe that is, getting everything together. Turkey, Egypt, the UAE, Hungary, Pakistan, and others, more than 2,000 according to some sources. Many traditional U.S. allies, especially European nations, have declined or expressed concerns, with some viewing it as a potential rival or parallel structure to the United Nations. And we know, I made this joke a couple shows ago, but yeah, the United Nations is basically as useful as a man's nipple. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. They are there and that's it. So I think this is a good idea. Maybe they disagree because you know how corrupt, and what a joke is the United Nations have been a joke for what as long as I can remember, and that is not that long because I haven't been paying attention to the United Nations and for that long. But Jared Kushner, who was key to brokering the Gaza peace plan, unveils a master plan for the future of Gaza at Davos. And people are up in arms over this. They're screaming off the top of their lungs that how this is possible. Donald Trump's son-in-law presents a map and graphics to the audience and delves into how the U.S. will conduct this operation.
We've developed ways to redevelop Gaza. Gaza, as President Trump's been saying, has amazing potential, and this is for the people of Gaza, and we've developed it into zones. In the beginning, we were toying with the idea of saying, let's build a free zone, and then we have a Hamas zone. And then we said, you know what, let's just plan for catastrophic success. Hamas signed a deal to demilitarize. That is what we are going to enforce. People ask us what our plan B is. We do not have a plan B. We have a plan. We signed an agreement. We are all committed to making that agreement work. There's a master plan. We'll be doing it in phasing. In the Middle East, they build cities like this in 2-3 million people. They build this in 3 years. And so stuff like this is very doable if we make it happen.
So there's the plans, there's the wanting to do this stuff, and there's the willing, of course, if Hamas is demilitarized. And the most important thing, I would say that beyond being demilitarized is I don't know how to pronounce this word, is to be de-ideologized. You know what I mean? The ideology of the death to America and all that stuff. I think that has to be dealt with at some point, and that is the most important thing, because it would be useless if you demilitarize if there's still that spirit, death to America and all that stuff that has gone nowhere. And so many countries in the Middle East don't want anything to do with the the Muslims who scream that to the top of their lungs. Maybe just a few Democrats and liberals still support that because they're crazy. They want to go always against the grain. Well, we continue here. Marco Rubio, today is the beginning of a new era.
Rothel will start with. This will show a lot of workforce housing. We think this could be done in 2-3 years. We've already started removing the rubble and doing some of the demolition. And then New Gaza. It could be a hope, it could be a destination, have a lot of industry, and really be a place that the people there can thrive, have great employment.
It was all so far so good up till now, but there comes the hit.
Once this starts going, we think there should be 100% full employment and opportunity for everybody there.
So this is crazy, right? But this is the kind of stuff that you see this, and of course it's extremely promising. It's something that is out of a dream, a utopia. That it is absolutely doable, because we have seen when there's the will to build something really fast. It's like in the UAE, for example, is one of those examples. It can be done, but what I don't understand is why this triggers people so much. But I did not understand that for about 2 seconds, and then I remember, of course. I understand why people are so triggered and why people don't want this, and they don't want the Free Palestine, Free Palpatine groups are not okay with this. They don't actually want this because that the part of their identity has been, okay, we need to fight this for the people of Gaza for some reason, and if there's no more fighting, they lose part of their identity. That's one part. And the countries of the European Union, that is not all of them, but the ones who are against an actual peace deal with the Gaza, or at least they cannot be against that anymore, but the rebuilding and the Board of Peace. I understand that Spain's Pedro Sanchez already said that he does not approve the Board of Peace. All right, so there's that. That is something that helps them get away with the stuff that is happening in their countries. As in, we need to be worried about this that is happening in Palestine and Gaza. If that ends, if there's actual prosperity there, that is one less let's say talking point that they will have to distract from the globalist invasion of their own countries. That's when I remember. It's it's a bit hard to keep track of all that, but it's that part of the strategy. It's a misdirection. Gaza, Palestine, they don't care. They don't care about Palestinian people. They have never cared about that. That is all a ruse. That is all smoke and mirrors. Simply pretending to care as distraction, as a sleight of hand to keep doing whatever they are doing. And yeah, there are a lot of useful idiots that are willing to go and protest without being paid, because they are paid protests, pro all that insanity, pro Hamas. But there are also useful idiots that do it for free. You know that there are all kind of retards in the world. And let's say that you win twice if you can convince those low IQ people to go and rally for a cause that has nothing to do with them. And what's more, do it for free. So I guess it's a win-win situation. But yeah, this triggered so many people as if they were angry. How dare Trump plan this? What are his ulterior motives?
And we have a lot of data on what can be, but we think that this really gives the Gazan people an opportunity to live their aspirations. But it all starts with security, and it all starts with governance.
Security and governance, very important, because, yeah, it's the same with Venezuela. You cannot have stability. You cannot have Maria Corina Machado as president. You cannot have actual elections if you don't have a modicum of security. It's the exact same scenario, and Trump is playing step by step, slow and steady, win the race, and we will be there. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. And this video you will be watching on my Power Pundit channel about politics and international politics. So let's make sure that you subscribe there. Yeah, useful idiots, unpaid or not. There's the tragedy. There's a tragedy. The unpaid ones. The unpaid ones that shouldn't. I don't know how to say this, but yeah, there's so many people. There's so many people again that they want some kind of purpose in their life. They want to do something. They want to find something to do with their time. Maybe they are bored at home. They no longer want to be at home. I don't know, but they find some kind of usefulness in these activities. And there's so many ways that you can distract people. It's like I'm going to mention briefly a couple things here before we move on to the next topic. It's like this. This is the kind of things that I see that are laughable at this point. Laughable, I think this is twofold. There are two sides to this coin. It's like there's a Bad Bunny plans to use Super Bowl halftime show to honor queer icons, plans to wear a dress report. And I don't know, some people are posting this. I mean, wearing a dress to honor queer icons, that is as non-controversial as you can go nowadays. And there's so many conservatives that are losing their minds over this that I simply cannot understand. An artist that is very popular, I think that he's, in fact, the most listened to musician in the world. You can argue that he is not a musician, but, well, he tops the charts everywhere. That is an objective fact. Maybe you can say, oh, that is throttle. No, you can hear his music pretty much everywhere. But at the same time, that is not controversial at all, because, well, when it comes to wearing a dress and honoring queer icons, that has been very old already. You remember that I Want to Break Free video clip, one of the most iconic video clips in the history of music from Queen, and they were yeah, I wouldn't say that this is drag. They were dressed as women. And when it comes to queer icons, I think that you cannot go further than Freddie Mercury or George Michael, for example, off the top of my head. I mean, if you want to honor queer icons by dressing as a woman or wearing a dress, I think you should go all the way. This is my recommendation. You want to do something actually awesome, do a reenactment of this video clip, and on the Super Bowl. They're not gonna do it because this is always about people are not gonna get the joke. This is too profound for them. But again, the honoring queer icons, I'm okay with that because there are a lot of queer icons out there and gay icons out there that we should celebrate. Why not? This two off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that there are way more out there that I'm forgetting. Maybe you can help me in the comments. But no, I don't think this is controversial at all. Again, I see so many conservatives, so many conservative commentators that start some kind of up in our, how is this possible? This is destroying the construct of what is our civilization. But man, we are way past that. We're way past that. There's so many stuff has so many real stuff is happening that I think that Elton John, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I forgot Elton John. So we have three already. Thanks, Dex, in effect. We have Elton John. We have Freddie Mercury. We have George Michael. Who else? We need more. I'm pretty sure that many out there. So why not? So again, I think that there are some things that are worth having a meltdown over, and the most comical thing is that this is not one of these occasions, and the meltdown from some how to say this commentators actually fuels a controversy that is not there, but it's good publicity, right? You're using this for publicity, and let's say the most basic way. David Bowie was married to Iman. Oh my God, Iman. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but that woman is gorgeous. Liberace as well. Walter Mercado was not a singer, but I remember Walter Mercado. Oh my God, I always remember Walter Mercado. Mucho amor. Many people don't know Walter Mercado. We should bring more awareness to him. Boy George as well. Boy George went a bit political, but he made good songs back in the day. Oh my God, I always miss George Michael so much. And my thing is to stop trying to normalize that which is not normal. Well, it's we're gonna talk about that when we talk about surrogacy. We're gonna talk about that when we talk about surrogacy. But now we need to talk about a hoax. There is a new hoax in town, and the hoax it's not a verifying people or that kind of hoax. This is another hoax. The hoax is apparently that ICE detain a 5-year-old in the cold. I mean, how can ICE be so heartless? How can these law enforcement officers be so devoid of humanity, of detaining a 5-year-old? And you see here, our President of the United States in a parallel universe, Kamala Harris. Liam Ramos is just a baby. He should be at home with his family, not used as bait by ICE and held in a Texas detention center. I am outraged, and you should be too. And this is everywhere. You see every kind of this, crazy people framing this. I mean, that's what's happened. And this is the problem with social media, and many, even if people who don't watch TV, people who are on social media are repeating the same lie over and over again. And that's why I make sure to address. I was not going to address this, but I said that I need to address this because it is a hoax. It is a mass manipulation attempt. And who has 2 thumbs and is the #1 expert in the world at spotting manipulation? This guy. So as Angie Craig wants to pretend, this week in Minnesota, ICE detained a 5-year-old boy. 5 years old. I can't even believe it. This is America. If you support this, you have lost all humanity. And no, I'm not going to play that the clip, but I'm going to share with you people who are trying to explain what really happened. This post needs a community note added to it for false reporting. The father of that 5-year-old boy took off running into the woods and left the boy all alone outside, and ICE agents grabbed him for safety concerns and kept him from freezing to death because the father of the kid left him inside, I think it was a pickup truck. Just like that. He ran away and left his son behind. And now I'm going to ask you, before we move forward and see the official report on this, what kind of father, quote unquote, sees that they are, officers, ICE officers? You're with your son, 5 years old, in the back of your truck. At least was in the back, right, of the truck. I guess. That is my guess. I don't even know if he was like, the proper seat and etc. But what kind of man runs away and leaves his 5-year-old behind to his own devices? I think that is the most honorless thing that I've heard in quite some time. That is just horrific. What that guy that is terrible. Again, this is Homeland Security. This is a horrific smear pushed by the media and anti-ICE activists. The child was abandoned by his father, and the alleged mother refused to take custody of her own child. Why, I can tell you stories about that kind of women. That kind of women do exist. And so many of you have reached out to me by email. You can reach out to me by email, by the way. My email is down there in the description. Stories when we talk about bad mothers. This is daily life in this in the life of these bad mothers. Our law enforcement took care of the child, got him McDonald's, and played him with his favorite music to comfort him. Parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children, or ICE will place the children with a safe person the parent designates. Tricia, Ohio, I'm going to play this clip.
And this is a horrific smear that we're seeing the mainstream media and politicians on the left, including Kamala Harris, take and run with. The facts are actually that this little boy was abandoned by his own father. His own father was being approached by ICE agents when he ran and abandoned the child. Our law enforcement, in these frigid temperatures, stayed with the child, tried to bring him into custody with the mother, who actually would not take the child into custody, which is so sad, so horrific. Our law enforcement officers actually were taking care of the child, brought him to McDonald's, were playing his favorite music to really calm him down. This is Asmark. There's major riots forming around our law enforcement officers. That is horrendous that the child is having to face this, but our law enforcement officers were taking care of him, and he's now reunited with his father in a federal processing facility.
So you tell me how that works. You tell me what is the narrative that, of course, all these people, including but not limited to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because this is par for the course for these people, was the 5-year-old returned because this post is 11 hours old. Yeah, the problem is, where are you return the kid to? And then I can hear, not literally hear, but I can hear people saying, oh yeah, but how are you going to go after the parents of a child? Okay, let's try to understand what is the situation. You are entering a country with your child. We don't know how long ago. We don't know. It seems like the child was not born in the United States. They enter the country with the child. So you're doing that, and you're breaking the law. What do you think is going to happen? You're taking a risk. I can understand that you can take a risk to make the best possible life for your child. I actually admire that position. I know many people that did that, entered the United States illegally and make sure to do every single step to become illegal, and that the kids were American citizens. That is, I think that is the right thing to do. Anybody with a heart would do that in that position. But if you have one guy who ran away and left his 5-year-old son, and a mother who won't accept and won't take care of the kid, then what kind of people are we dealing with here? Is that, in the first place, the people that the United States wants as citizens, as residents, as anything? Is if even if they have no convictions, if they don't have a criminal record, is that the kind of people that you think that you can trust as your neighbors? That is a very, very easy question. It's like when we talk about Andrew Tate, that people say that Andrew Tate has not been convicted of anything, and this guy, it seems that he has not been convicted of anything as well. He was just being detained by ICE because he's an illegal. But at the same time, you can judge somebody's character by their behavior and their actions. And you can decide to not hang out with them, or that they are not worthy of being in your country. That is one thing. You begin to realize, okay, it is tragic that families shouldn't be separated, of course. It is tragic that a 5-year-old shouldn't be just with strangers. That should be terrifying for him. But it was his parents who put him in that position in the first place. And it's asinine to think that it is ICE's responsibility, or it is the United States' responsibility, what that 5-year-old kid is going through. It was the parents' responsibility. But you know that this libtards will do anything to blame anyone but the actual ones who are responsible for what happened. Like, as in, they won't care about this. They won't care about anything. They did not care when all this happened. It's like people are sharing that picture. I think it was under the Obama administration. I remember the Elian. I really don't remember that case. I didn't review that. But again, so many people were okay with ICE when it was under Obama, but the moment it was with Trump, they didn't want it. And with Biden, we know that the border was basically open for anybody to enter. Terrorists, criminals, rapists, murderers, everything. AOC repeats the ICE kidnapped a 5-year-old hoax. A hoax is a lie. Actual story, ICE went to arrest this illegal alien dad who decided to run away and abandon his child. Oh, model citizen. Ali Beth Stuckey. On Instagram, it's 2020 all over again. Women, including many, many Christian women, are being completely duped by the anti-ICE propaganda. Believe that the ICE arrested a lone 5-year-old completely. It's demoralizing. I am working hard in my DMs and posts and on my show trying to combat this nonsense and appeal to these women. However, I felt like I was the only white evangelical women questioning BLM in 2020, and I don't feel as alone now. There are more of us 5 years later, and I'm grateful for that. That is a problem. The problem is the platforms. Because you know that if these platforms are intelligent. Every single platform is intelligent in the sense that they will read what you share. And if they don't like your narrative, they're going to throttle you. And I don't believe for a second that the lizard, Zuckerberg, is, one of the good guys right now. I don't trust. Nobody should trust that guy. And you know that Instagram is owned by Meta. And I'm sure that they don't like the narrative, the actual thing that happened, what really happened. So if you share anything on Instagram, so tries to explain what happened, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be throttled, like in every other platform. That's why I make sure to create these videos both on YouTube, on Rumble, try to explain this on X, because that is the battle. This is an information and misinformation and disinformation battle. These hoaxes are pushed, so people keep repeating the same topics over and over again, because you know that many people are not going to read past the headlines. They're going to just confirm what they believe about Trump, what they believe about ICE, and all this is all this insanity that is going on. And well, we are here for the common sense and to fight back this misinformation. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? And this video is going to go on my Power Pundit channel as well, so make sure to like and subscribe there. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy and the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. So there it goes. Yeah, it's fake news. It's fake news what is happening, and fake news at a level that it's so disgusting, in so many ways. And it's they just go with it. They just go with it. I need to talk about it. The next topic also goes on my Power Pundit channel. Today is going to be a bit political in many ways. Why? Because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about, I pressed the wrong button again. I pressed the wrong button again. I don't know why this is like, I need to fix, wait a second. Try to fix my camera here. Okay, that's much better. Okay, that's luck. All right, there's things happening, and we need to talk about RINOs. We need to talk about RINOs. We need to talk about RINOs because Trump is not pleased the way that things are going in Congress. And you might say, well, the duty of Congress is to basically control, to some extent, the activities of the president. So this is not a monarchy. This is not a king, an emperor. But what is happening in Congress is laughable because things that should be 80-20, I can understand that some bills and some legal stuff can be subject to discussion. The filibuster, I should make a show about the filibuster, by the way. But there are topics that are 80-20 in the sense that 80% of the people, 80% of any common sense individual would agree that this is the right thing to do. And only 20% of libtards say that this shouldn't be a thing. One very important is the SAVE Act. I'm going to mention the SAVE Act briefly. And then an overwhelming new poll was just dropped, finding Americans supporting nationwide voter ID by plus 58 points, 74% to 16% who oppose. I mean, who can be against voter ID? Voter ID nationwide. Why would you be against presenting your ID when voting? What's more, you know, that monstrosity of mail-in ballots has to be just erased from history. That should have never happened, and it should never happen again. But the only ones who are against voter ID, they say that is racist, because it seems that black people cannot get IDs or something, or getting an ID is too complicated for black people. You know that is the actual argument of these Democrats. Oh no, you know that you cannot force people to present an ID because getting an ID is hard for black people. I would look for those clips, but that actually happened. Because you might say, okay, I don't have that clip. I don't have the clip to support my claims that they say that. But again, I would ask you, why would they be against that? Let's try to play devil's advocate for a second and say, okay, there could be a reason why there's voter ID shouldn't be enforced. I sometimes do that kind of that is actually good critical thinking. You should be able to put yourself in the position of your opponent, the opponent of your ideas, the opponent of your principles, your concepts. What are they thinking? Do they have an actual idea? We're going to talk about surrogacy, and that's going to be a bit more complicated than yes or no. But in this case, I tried to come up. If I was, imagine that we were in this game. You are invited, I don't know, by Harvard or Cambridge or this an university, and you are in this debate team, and they assign you the task of being against nationwide voter ID. That is something that it's fun to do. Let's put us in that perspective. I've tried to think about that. Any argument against nationwide voter ID that would make sense, of course. But you can have any argument, but the idea is for an argument to be sound, to be logical, to be the product of reasoning, with the product of critical thinking. Because if your argument doesn't hold up scrutiny, there's not an actual argument. It has to be discarded. If your argument, the only way to support it is with ad hominem attacks that you're the orange man bad, you are evil. You know, the kind of things that we have seen so many times in the course of our relationship here in the Body Language Guy. That is not an actual debate. That is not actually happening. So I have no idea how these people can still claim that no. That should not happen. The SAVE Act is not going to pass because voter ID, nationwide voter ID is racist. And I'm going to tell you, my beautiful American friends and my friends everywhere, but America is especially critical in this case because of the voter ID and the mail-in ballots and the machines. I have to talk about the machines. I promised you that episode about the machines. The machines should be paper ballots. You need to push. You need to chimp out. You need to make noise and make sure the SAVE Act is passed. You need to call your representatives. You needed to call your representatives, my American friends. You can do this. The funds are out there. You have to put pressure on that, and you have to make sure that this happens. You have to tell your friends, tell everyone about this, because that will secure elections. That will make elections more secure. Everybody knows that. Nobody can argue. The problem is that we have congressmen like this, as a representative the Keith Self is mentioned here, 76 House Republicans, 76 join every single House Democrat in support of earmarks for abortions, gender procedures on children, DEI activism, and partisan pet projects. With Republicans like this, who needs Democrats? And I need to zoom in so you can see Democratic, how many voted? All of them, literally all of them. None of the Democrats voted against this. All of them, every single, they vote as a block. It's like a hive mind of Democrats. It's a Democrat hive mind. It's like there's this, I don't know, alien mother in the background, just controlling them with some kind of, I don't know, mumbo jumbo, because all of them vote that way. That's a single block. And Republicans, we're talking about abortion, we're talking about DEI, talking about all the things that Democrats have tried to push for years, thanks Obama, and look at this split. How does this happen? How can this happen? I mean, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And I would like this congressman, congresswomen, whatever, to tell me, to argue, why did you vote pro-abortion, pro-DEI, pro-chopping kids' dicks? Why would you do that? Why? And in terms of the SAVE Act, is well, let's say that things are not that good either. Donald Trump just posted a video of this young man exposing the 8 RINOs stopping the SAVE Act from getting passed. I'm going to mention them by name because this is important. Rand Paul. I remember Rand Paul with the Anthony Fauci thing. That dude seems so based. That dude seems so based. This guy is based. Why would he be against passing the SAVE Act? Why would he be against national ID when voting? Tom Tillis, Todd Young, Jerry Moran, Susan Collins, Chuck Grassley How old is Chuck Grassley, by the way? So is that like 90 years old? Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is like 120 years old. Something like that. He glitches every other line. Time to get loud, MAGA. Let's watch this clip because I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it, and I would love to know what is their argument for this.
Republicans that are unfortunately fighting against the SAVE Act. There's a uniparty, guys, that we're about to expose. That's why I love it. Kash Patel is on it. The whole MAGA party is on it. He said, unfortunately, there are 8 Republican senators implacably opposed to passing the voter integrity law as it would require ending the filibuster. Okay? I want to give you those names. Okay? Here are the 8 names. Okay? Based on current discussions, reports circulating through them all, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, there's no surprise there, Tom Tillis, Todd Young, Chuck Grassley, and Jerry Moran. These are the ones that reportedly are the ones opposing passing the voting integrity law. Can you see this right here, guys? Again, it matters to know the receipts. It matters to know who they are. It matters to know what's happening behind the scenes. Because everything that's happening in Congress, it's only happening because we are draining the swamp right now. We're exposing all the names. Here are the names again. We're draining the swamp. We're making sure that people know the truth of why things are not getting done in the Senate. Everybody's like, well, why aren't they doing it in the Senate? Why aren't they passing the voter ID law? They've already done it in the House. Well, guess what? When you've got 8 Republicans that won't do what they need to do to pass it, that's where we are constantly fighting all of this.
This is absurd. This is something that is absurd, that it couldn't be this agreement in things that, again, are 80-20 topics. I end up saying that debating is wrong. Debating is the way to go. You have to debate. You have to control the power of. You need the separation of powers. That is non-negotiable. You need to control the power of the president. That is okay. That is okay. I'm okay with that. But when you have something that is based on common sense, that is the right thing to do, and so many people agree on. What is your argument to be against that? What is your argument to say, yeah, you know what, I'm out. I don't know, but I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments, and I'm sure that you're gonna be very vocal about this. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. So yes, this Rand has advanced TDS. I don't know why. Would he have Trump derangement syndrome? And in the sense that, by the way, I thought that Rand Paul was anti-war. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe my memory fails me. Maybe I'm just having a Mandela effect. I thought that Rand Paul was against war, right? But please correct me on that one. And you can correct me. And why would he be against Trump that is doing so many things that are pro-peace and pro-business and pro-commerce and pro-everything? Maybe I'm confusing Rand Paul with Thomas Massey. I don't know that Thomas Massey is also anti-war. But I don't know. If they both are anti-war, why would they be anti-Trump? I don't understand that. And why would they be against fair and safe and secure elections? That makes even less sense. Okay, you can disagree with Trump. Let's say that you disagree with Trump as a person. You don't like the guy, and you don't like his policies. But you have to take a look at the SAVE Act in itself. This is not like Trump trying to impose something into you. This is something that is common sense to make elections, whether it's for Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't matter. It's something. You need fair elections. And having fair elections also guarantees, to some extent, that more and more people are going to be okay with the voting. Because so many people have decided what is the point of voting if they're still going to, he's a budget hawk. All right, so it means that he's pro-war? He's hawkish? Rand Paul and Thomas Massey seems to be the same person. If Rand Paul grows a beard, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to have a problem with that. telling them apart. So many people love Thomas Massey, by the way. So many people love Rand Paul. Again, you can love or hate them. You can love or hate Donald Trump, but you have to look at the bill, at the process of elections is in itself. In itself, how can we make elections safer so more people are into voting? Again, that's this is problem. Is this real? At Grog, is this real? Starmer has canceled local elections until 2027. Dictatorship is real. What the F? What the F? The only thing I can think of is that they maybe didn't pass it as some state were giving out IDs like candy. So they are giving IDs or like candy, or they're not. Because at the same time, if California, for example, was giving driving permits to illegals who could barely speak in English, and these illegals were causing all these accidents, then anything goes. So you can have, I don't know, social security number, you can have a driver's license, you can have any sort of ID, and those are illegals. And maybe they also found this, I don't know which state it was, this huge scandal of jurors, this pool of jurors who were all illegal. All of them were illegal. We need to keep going. Today's show, this topic is gonna be a thick one, because we need to talk about surrogacy right now. This post, I don't know how many 100 million views or something like that. Meghan Trainor has welcomed a baby girl named Mikey Moon via surrogate, and I have to say the first thing. I had to make the joke, of course. This should be illegal. No baby girl deserves to be named Mikey Moon. But these celebrities, that I don't know what kind of Jenga game with the names they play. Is like they play Jenga with names in each block, or random words, or Scrabble or something like that to name them like that. But that's not what we're talking about. Not the that stuff, but the surrogacy stuff that so many people are against. So many people are like meh, and so many people are pro this. I would love to see your comments right now in the chat. I would like to see your comments as well when I post this video. Most likely it would be in my Body Language Guy channel. Meghan Trainor tells people that surrogacy is not something to whisper about or judge. Yeah, because the backlash, it was a very negative reaction in the comments. The reactions were mostly like 70 to 80% negative. And there were not like positive comments, but like neutral comments like, what is the big deal with surrogacy? Let's talk about that, because we need to address that the ethics of this. The ethics of it. It wasn't our first choice, but we had endless conversations with our doctors in this journey, and this was the safest way for us to be able to continue growing our family. We're forever grateful for that option. I want people to know that surrogacy is just another beautiful way to build a family. My complaint, besides the name of the baby girl, is why would you do the skin-to-skin thing if that is performative? The skin-to-skin thing after a baby is born is with the actual biological mother. The baby who has been like handled like this, has been handled like this juggler at a circus between, the doctors, the nurses, checking everything, the Apgar, all the things that have to do with a new baby, right? Have been juggling this baby one to another like this, a hot potato. And they have to bring the baby to the mother so the baby can smell the mother and can feel and can hear the heart that has heard for 9 months. What if after playing hot potato with the newborn, you put the newborn on a woman who, it's let's say was not the one who gave birth to the baby. This was laughable. I mean, and you know, the tears, I always tell you, these people are hell-bent narcissists. I mean, save the photo for anything else. I don't even know what is she famous for. I don't know if it's for music or acting. I couldn't care less. I just know that this woman is a narcissist because of the skin-to-skin thing, because of the tears and the photo. And let me everybody know that I did this, and let everybody see this picture. This is that I have a lot of trouble with. Now, I needed to be clear about something, and in the sense that I have kind of a conflict of interests because I happen to have a rather close family member who the only certified, the only way, absolutely the only way. This was not like, oh, I don't want to harm my body kind of woman. No, the only way they could actually have a baby was through surrogacy. And they had a baby with surrogacy many years ago. They have a healthy boy right now. That was the only way. They have a happy family right now. They're very happy. They're amazing parents. So I can see it for myself that, yeah, in some scenarios, maybe it can work. You can say, okay, that should not be happening. And I can understand why you say that could not be happening. But I'm pretty sure that many of you have somebody close to you or close-ish to you that have gone through that, and that was the only option. Or at least I know somebody. One. I know one. Okay, one couple. And I know that they simply could not that. It was not performative. It was not, oh, I'm going to, I don't want to ruin my body. No, it was real. Having said that, the other problem, the big problem with surrogacy is all the ways that can be exploited. This can be exploited in so many ways I cannot count. So even if this is a very good question. I'm going to address this question. Could she have adopted? There's a good question, because some people say that what is the actual difference between adopting and surrogacy? Why couldn't you choose between one or the other? Well, I guess that people want a baby with their genes, right? I think that's fair. I think that everybody would like a baby with their genes. And in fact, you know that in the majority of the countries in which surrogacy is legal, the version of surrogacy that is legal is that the vessel or the mother or the woman who is the vessel of the baby is not related biologically to the baby. So you have the couple, all right, who want to have the baby, and they have this in vitro fertilization, and they put the egg into the surrogate, who has no biological ties to the baby. There are other, let's say, crazy, I think that's crazy, when the mother is actually the mother of the baby, and it's the man who donates the sperm, and the egg is from the surrogate, which that blows my mind that people are willing to go with that. But again, this world is full of horrors beyond our comprehension. We have seen so many things that I at least I could consider maybe when it's for example, you have a couple that absolutely cannot conceive, and maybe her sister or his sister is willing to be the surrogate, and they're all okay with that, and there's no money in between. She's going to do it altruistically out of the kind of her heart. Then why not? It's not the ideal thing. We're playing with things that are not very, let's say, very, very Christian, not very Catholic. I can guarantee you that. But again, I have seen at least one happy family thanks to that. But let's go to the part that I don't like. is how can this be exploited in so many ways? And I need to mention one way, and sadly I have to mention Dave Rubin. And I know that so many of you like Dave Rubin. So many of you mentioned, and I was mentioning Dave Rubin yesterday with his take on Candace Owens and how Dave Rubin was solid going against Candace Owens and telling the truth about Candace Owens. But one thing I just cannot stand in any scenario is a same-sex couple literally buying a baby under any circumstance. I draw the line at a man and a woman who cannot conceive in any way, considering surrogacy and considering the surrogacy that we mentioned. Okay, that is their baby, not that the surrogate has no ties to, and maybe it's a close family member. That could work. But this, I want to say that this is horrific. This is the sign of the end of the times, and this should not be happening. And everybody involved in this should be in jail. I am not going to negotiate with any of this. I could endorse Dave Rubin professionally. I mean, to some extent, I really don't see the guy. I see that he's very successful. It's great that he's successful professionally. But this, I cannot get behind this. And some of you were mentioning, oh, are you okay with gays getting married? Yeah, because if you have, there's just it's like formality and they want to have access. There's so many things then in society that work as a couple in terms of legal terms for in banking and ownership and so many things that it's easier when a couple is married. If you have a same-sex couple that want to get married to be able to integrate better to society in terms of those legal terms, that is okay. What is the? I don't see any problem with that. I don't see absolutely any problem with that. But this, no. This is a draw the line. Even if you told me, even if you could guarantee, even if you could, I don't know, check them through the whole life that they're going to be the best parents. No. And there are even worse things. There are even worse things. There are single dudes, single gay dudes being granted the right to have a baby via a surrogate. And you might ask, you might be asking the question, wait a minute, and whose woman is that egg? Yeah, I vomited. I vomited when I saw this. I vomited when I saw this. How is this a thing? I don't know. This is horrific. This is the problem with surrogacy. People will absolutely, these perverts, these monsters, this scum of the earth will absolutely 100% game the system in every way. So if there is one couple that I know that could have a happy family, okay, there could be traumatic for the baby, the process, and etc. I can understand, but the rest of the life of the baby can be something, a great life. For one couple, you will have X amount of deviants doing any sort of horrific things. And I can't even mention, not even in Rumble, not even in X, the things that have happened to so many of these babies. It's something that, again, you're purposefully creating a life to tear away from the mother. The disruption of the mother-baby bond is psychologically devastating for both baby and mother. In the terms of adoption, usually the adoption thing is something that there's no other option. There's something that is out of mercy because of the condition that is surround the baby or the kid. But surrogacy is something that you're doing on purpose. And again, If if it's a commercial transaction, it is, yeah, it is quite ethically contestable. So the tiny sliver of I don't know, so the tiny window in which this could be a godsend, that is maybe not the best word to use, but you understand what I'm saying, for a couple to have a child is gonna be like 99% rest of that is gonna be a monstrosity. It's gonna be surrogates who have miscarriages being sued by wealthy women who didn't want to ruin their body, who did that only because of cosmetic reasons, or they didn't want to ruin their body. There was a miscarriage and they sued the surrogate. And there are other scenarios. I heard about a couple that is documenting they were not going to have any more kids, and she offered herself for a surrogacy, as a surrogate for a couple they are in the United States. She offered herself for a couple in Europe, and the couple in Europe did all the things, planted the baby, and then they just disappeared. They did not claim the baby, literally. So yes, it's like they were left with this baby from this contract, and the contracting couple just say, hey, no, you know what? After some months, we decided that we no longer want the baby. So she actually had the baby, and she's raising it as the baby as hers. It's a kid now. So yeah, as I'm telling you, the odds of this going wrong are so huge that the risks, the threats, the monstrosities simply are not worth the risk. The tiny amount of people who could get something, even in itself it is not right. We could, in this 1%, but no, the risks, simply the abuse of the system, no. And this is without, I don't want to get into too much detail of this, but take this with a grain of salt. I'm going to say that this allegedly, I don't want to get into trouble in any case, but a surrogacy center back in 2023 admitted that they do provide services to sex offenders and PDF files who otherwise wouldn't be allowed within 2,000 feet of children. Make of that what you will. And at the same time, you remember that we have been talking about AI a lot these days. We have been talking about OpenAI and ChatGPT, and we have been talking about this guy, Sam Altman. Yeah. He also has one baby, right, with his husband by a surrogate. Yes. I thought that you knew that. Maybe you didn't, but I'm telling you. And at the same time, Sam Altman and husband fund startup to edit babies' genes. What can go wrong? So again, man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottom Language Guy. Much love and bliss. The world is getting mad. What's cheaper? What cheaper? Man, it takes a village to raise a child, not a single gay man. Yeah, this is, I told you that topic was going to be controversial. That is the problem. That is the problem when you have, that is why I always tell you, we need to address things on a case-by-case basis, but there comes a point in which you begin adding cases and you say, okay, we had one case that things turn out well, and 99 cases that we cannot even mention in a video. So yeah, we are in the end times, free to be me, Barbie 345. We are in the end times. We need to I'm going to say something. Please, YouTube, don't get mad at me. I am not. I am not. I'm going to. I'm seeing. I'm seeing an ad. I'm seeing an ad right now. I'm seeing an ad on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you what is this ad about. I'm gonna. This is the kind of stuff I'm telling you. We are living strange times. I have my YouTube homepage right now, but not on my Body Language Guy channel that I have YouTube Premium on a channel, on the Power Pundit channel that I don't have YouTube Premium, so I see ads here. And I'm seeing an ad. And it's saying, oh, this ad is catching my attention from some time ago. What's this video about? And this is the ad that YouTube is serving me right now. I'm going to show you the ad. Realistic AI girlfriend. Why, YouTube? Why are you offering me a realistic AI girlfriend? Build a virtual companion who truly gets you. Oh my God. Should I click on it? Should I click on the ad? Let me see. I'm going to click on it to see what happens. Oh, no. I cannot. No, this is, I know this kind of sites. I'm going to screenshot this for you. I won't go any further. It's not going to end well for anybody. I'm going to tell you what happens when you click on this ad. You start with this kind of question. Create your dream AI girl. Personalized to fulfill your every wish. Select the age that feels right for your AI match. And what? Should I go for it, fam? Should I go for it? Should I click? Should I click for? Oh my God. What do you want? You want a cougar? We got cougars. We got everything. Oh, it's like the Guns N' Roses song. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. You get a blue hair nose ring chick. You get a blue hair nose ring chick. You got a land whale because of inclusivity. No, I know how this goes. Maybe I can click on this. Okay, I'm gonna click. Let's say, I don't know. This is asking information from my information. No. Thank you. No, thank you, YouTube. No, thank you, YouTube. I mean, I'm telling you, this AI stuff is getting weirder and weirder every day. We need to move on to our next topic. Because oh my God. Maybe we can get an AI girlfriend for Harry. Maybe that is what Harry's gonna get in 2026, an AI girlfriend. I make it like Chelsea, please. Make it a Chelsea. Oh no, Megan is coming. He closes the laptop and Megan shouts, "What are you doing here, Harry? Why did you close the laptop like that?" Yeah, you're gonna ask for everything. All your information. This was fun while it lasted. Yeah, I am not gonna do that. Maybe on Rumble or on X, but I'm not gonna risk clicking further on YouTube. I don't know what's gonna pop up. There's something not safe for work. Chelsea AI. I'm going to create a Chelsea AI. I'm going to buy ads to show on Montecito so Harry buys my AI and I can hijack Harry and hijack his webcam, his potato webcam, and know what's happening in Montecito. Now I have a plan. That sounds like a plan. Now I click the AI and knows who I am. Yeah, sadly. That's something that's going to happen. But we need to talk about Andrew Tate right now because he's on this kind of trying to get rid of all this Heil Hitler controversy. He was out with this Nick Fuentes, his brother, and a couple other guys. And they began playing this anti-Semitic song from Kanye West at the club. And he was then claiming he backtracked in every single way possible, that he had nothing to do with it. And it was really weird watching Andrew Tate, the top G, the most alpha male of all alpha males in the world, backtracking and say that we had nothing to do with that, when everybody saw on every single video that both Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate were both, if not dancing, were laughing and nodding their head to the song. So you cannot escape that. So it seems that he needs to do something to wash away this smear campaign, and it seems that he is against anti-Semitism. Okay, but that is nice, not gonna lie. But now he's saying that he's announcing that Candace Owens actually knows who killed Charlie Kirk. All right, so my question would be, if Candace Owens literally knows who killed Charlie Kirk, then why doesn't she just say it? Maybe the agents are after her. Maybe the bees are after her. Maybe she found a turd on her bed and she's concerned about that. I don't know. So many options we have. A man under serious criminal indictment who has repeatedly lied about the facts on his own case now anoints himself a truth oracle on someone else's murder. And before we watch Tate's video, I need to address that Candace has said that she's going to make the same that she made this documentary on Brigitte Macron, becoming Brigitte, that she's a man, all right, with the, a man with the whole cucumber and lemons thing. She's saying that she's going to make a documentary on Erica Kirk. So I guess that Megyn Kelly is going to say something at this point. I don't know, maybe. Although I understand that Megyn Kelly is not the mother of the internet, but, well, Candace Owens has announced she's developing a Brigitte Macron-style expose on Erica Kirk. So much for Megyn Kelly's claim that Owens had only ever defended Kirk and never disparaged her. This was always the plan. So, yeah.
Ways. She writes, we need an Erica Kirk series, just like the Brigitte Macron series. Well, I do want to do perhaps not an entire series, but a couple of episodes dedicated to that, which we have been working on in the background to.
That's what you have been doing. That's what you have been doing for so long.
To give everybody something solid. There's a lot of, like I said, innuendo online, some things that are true, some things that are not true. But I do think, given the size and scale of this company, the public does deserve, and since the media is never going to do it, the mainstream media apparatus is never going to do it, something that is solid and backed by facts and documents that tells you about who this new CEO is.
All right, so I'm gonna say something that might surprise you, my body language buddies. I am 100% behind this. I totally support Candace Owens making a full-blown, let's say not a documentary, but maybe 2 episodes focused on Erica Kirk. Please, Candace, please. I'm gonna address you in the most dramatic way. Full screen. This deserves full screen. Please, Candace, do it. I know you are the one to do that, but I want you to do it like you did the Brigitte Macron thing. With that, confidence, with that eloquence, with all the receipts, with everything. I wanted you to do it. Go ahead. That would be just amazing content for my channel. Not gonna lie. I want to see it. I will react to that live myself. Maybe not that. Maybe not that much, but that would be fun to watch. Hey, go ahead. Make everyone's day, especially Erica Kirk's attorney's day, because they're going to let's say that they will have everything to challenge you, I'm pretty sure, if you have actual receipts. So I hope that's not all smoke and mirrors. That would be awesome to watch. Please go ahead. Also, we have this. I did not understand this tweet. We are also now in possession of a Zoom call 5 days following Charlie's assassination. The new CEO, Erica Kirk, spoke to employees. Notice how she speaks about Erica as if she is distant from her. She doesn't say Erica. She says, the new CEO, Erica Kirk, spoke to employees and, among other things, invited them to take time off they needed to grieve. I am so uncomfortable. And I don't understand. I didn't get it. Why is she, Candace, uncomfortable because Erica Kirk gave guys at turning point time to grieve, if they needed time off, why would she be uncomfortable with this? The employees were shocked because they thought that maybe Erica Kirk would need to take time off to grieve, that Erica herself would need to take time off to grieve. But she didn't. She was in the office working with Stacey Sheridan. So again, this is Candace trying to frame as this is, okay, Candace is the mother of grieving, or the mother of grief, we could say. She is the one who decides what is the correct way to grieve, the odd way to grieve. This is suspicious. I don't know why would that be suspicious. Many comments, people say that, okay, that is indeed suspicious. I could have never done it. And many comments as well of women saying, I went through something similar, and work and being with family was the only thing that I could be outside. It's the only way that I could cope with that. Everybody is different. So Erica Kirk happens to be one way. As Matt Walsh said, no matter what Erica Kirk, people were going to criticize her. You become a recluse, people are going to criticize you for just letting Turning Point in the hands of anyone else. You begin to work immediately, they're going to criticize you. You go out without makeup, they're going to criticize you. You go out with makeup, they're going to criticize you. You cannot win. That is the scenario. You cannot win. And now we have people trying to use, this is interesting. I'm not going to, this is, let's say, as I'm interested in that documentary from Candace on Erica Kirk, I guess that Andrew Tate was interested in whatever Candace had to say about Charlie Kirk, because he wants the narrative. Now the narrative, he was also defending Donald Trump and Elon Musk as if, and let me laugh about this, as if Donald Trump and Elon Musk need to be defended of anything. So that is in itself, I mean, this is crazy. What is happening with Andrew Tate? What is happening with the world? What is happening in the world? So this is what he was saying about Candace Owens and why Candace Owens hasn't been taken out.
Why do you think Charlie Kirk was assassinated? Do you think it was because of feminism?
Let's talk as professionals here. Sorry for the pause. I'm just scanning what's going to keep me alive. So
it's interesting that Tate speaks as in is his own narrator. He has this pause, and then he explains the pause. Why he's having a pause? Like he's narrating his thoughts as well. Interesting.
Oh, I know who killed him.
Oh, he knows who killed Charlie Kirk, and he sure says, "Oh yeah, I know." Yeah, I would say that I know as well. It was Tyler Robinson, but well, yeah, we can move on.
And the only person who is overtly giving theories as to who killed him publicly is Candace. The reason Candace...
Why does he say Candace? Candace. Why does he say Candace?
Candace is breathing is because she is a woman.
Okay, the reason that Candace has not been, erased by the agents, like the agents erased Charlie Kirk. By the way, that is an actual question. If the agents of the Matrix deleted Charlie Kirk, why couldn't they just delete Candace Owens, who could have been even easier? I don't know, but there's Tate's amazing take, amazing explanation on this.
And because she is black, and the people in charge have thought, they've concluded, you know what, let a black woman scream. Most people will, even if they listen to her, it's a black chick and we're just going to let her scream into the air and we'll just put it down to black female hysterical.
Okay, now he's talking. Now Andrew Tate, let that sink in. Let that sink in. Andrew Tate has gone full Michelle Obama. This is, we're really at the end of times, at the gates of, this is what is happening. Because he's saying that, the reason that Candace Owens has not been deleted is because of racism. She's just a black woman. They're dismissing her. He could be in Michelle Obama's podcast next time. That would be awesome. I will watch that as well.
Action. So let's put it down to that.
You think that's it?
Yeah. We'll get some bots on Twitter and we'll get everyone to call her crazy and we'll pretend she's hysterical and we'll push all of this narrative that she's nuts with some paid influencers. And we're going to get everyone to call her crazy, even if she's right on the money, even if she gets it perfectly right.
Okay, what part, that part that she gets perfectly right is in the room with us right now? Because she has just went from theory to theory to theory to theory. And everybody or her fans say that Candace knows, or double knows, or triple knows. I don't know. It's kind of a Big Mac of knows. But in the end, she hasn't said anything concrete. And she's gone to, she's very close to get her ass sued. Which, by the way, I don't think that it fits the narrative of whatever Tate is saying, of course. This doesn't make any sense.
Even in one of her episodes, if she describes it perfect, we're just going to convince everyone she's nuts because she's a black chick, and we can convince people that she's just hysterical, like the Walmart ran out of cocoa butter and she's mad. So let's just do that.
Andrew, you don't watch Candace Owens' show. You couldn't know. You couldn't possibly know. You don't watch her show. Why would you say that in an episode that she explained it all? She didn't.
If you're a man in a sharp suit like yours, or if I put a suit on and I sit there and I break it down in a very logical, there still is that degree of misogyny in the world where a man is taken a little bit more seriously with some things. And then if you get it directly on the money with a different tone and they can't really call you crazy, if you don't give them the second life, if you don't give them an easy layup, well, then you pay the price.
Yeah, this is, I'm gonna tell you what's happening. I think the Meghan Markle, I don't know, virus is infected Kamala Harris, infected Candace Owens, infected Brooklyn Beckham, infected Andrew Tate. It's growing. We have to do something about that. It's just something that it's so crazy. So many stuff. I mean, this. It's like Andrew Tate is not even trying. He can do better than this. I mean, the guy is literally a master manipulator. He knows how to manipulate people. So it's surprising to me that he's going for this kind of theory that doesn't hold himself. Although I can imagine that Candace Owens fans need any sort of, I don't know, help to keep their delusions going on. So I guess this is good for them. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. This is what goes in the Body Language Guy. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. Much love and bliss. I'm telling you, the things that we have seen, the things that we have to deal with. Oh my God, if Brooklyn Beckham is next. Oh my God, no, please no. Please stop. Please stop. At least this is gonna be a bit lighter. This is gonna be a bit lighter. But yeah, this is an attention economy. I sometimes thought how easy it would be in these days to create a cult. But again, it's something that I always reverted back to. Who in their right mind, knowing what it's at stake in terms of spirituality, would actively choose to build a cult, a sect, unless you pretend to think that you have nothing to lose. Karma is going to catch up with you. And the bigger the lie, the bigger the cult, the bigger the scam, the bigger the sect, the worse the crimes, well, the karma debt is going to be through many lives. And I could be Christian and I could be Catholic, but at the same time, you know that I have a mix of beliefs. And one of the part of that mix of beliefs is that I don't actually believe that we have only one shot at this. I think that we have many lives. I firmly believe that. You are free to believe whatever you want to believe. That is the way that I find some kind of order in this regard. Maybe someday I would explain, but that's what I believe. And if we develop karma, if we, let's say, accumulate karma, too much karma in this life, well, we have to pay it at some point in other lives. We will have to do that. We will have to pay it in some way. And that would be, that is absurd. Because you have, let's say that you have one life. Let's say that, let's pretend for a moment, in terms of what I believe, say that you have one life. And you know that these master manipulators have the gift of gab. Candace Owens is great at speaking. It's great at using English, at persuading, at manipulating. She's great at that. You have these abilities that if you are a true Christian, you're a true Catholic, you know that these are God-given traits. So God gave these traits to you. God gave these skills to you. And at the very least, He gave this energy to you to use this force, these skills, this talent for good. And you chose to use them for the wrong reasons. You chose for your own gain. You chose that to manipulate people. You will have to pay for that. Again, you might get away with it in this life. You might get away with it. You will not be convicted of anything. You will maybe not be afraid of that in the sense of some kind of lightning is going to strike you or something. No, none of the sort. It's not going to be that spectacular. But I find it weird that people who claim to be religious, as Candace claims to be Christian and Tate claims to be Muslim, that they play this kind of games, that they are not games at all. Now, they are very serious activities. They are very serious behaviors because the platform that they have is a responsibility. You have a responsibility over your talent and skills and the platform and the audience that you have. So ultimately, you're going to pay for that. Maybe not in the earthly way of paying things, but you will have a debt that you have to pay. And I wouldn't want to be there when it happens. But we need to move on into let's say, lighter topics, and we need to talk about Brooklyn Beckham again, because he did the Meghan Markle thing. He did the paparazzi walk. He called Backgrid. You remember Backgrid? He did the thing. Stephanie Sidley, big shout out to the Sidley twins. Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz called Backgrid today the classic We're in Love beach photos. They really are being mentored by Harry and Meghan. I couldn't believe that they are really doing this. With a doggy. Who is a good doggy? Who is a good doggy? And yeah, this is literally Backgrid. Being the same dudes behind Harry and Meghan's photos. And again, this is just pathetic. Just pathetic. How many people fall for this? And this is something that they are not aware of. Because at least Harry and Meghan had the clout, had the platform, where royals, now they are ex-royals, now are they just a couple of morons? No. Nicola could be the daughter of a billionaire. Brooklyn could be a Beckham, but it's not the same. It's never the same. This is not royalty. So this is, a sad and pathetic attempt to try to be relevant in some way. And you can see that he's got the same face of Harry. I don't know. This is, you work so hard. I can imagine David Beckham. Could imagine David Beckham. Maybe he tried to be a good dad. Maybe he fell short. Maybe he blames himself. But again, this is not that we're here for. But again, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this and tell me what is the difference with this thing. What is the difference? And remember, who took this picture? Remember who took this picture. What is the difference with Meghan and the dogs and that walk? I simply don't know. I have no idea. But this is just a battle for attention. And let's say the battle for attention includes being in Vogue magazine Turkey and what? Let's say that I can understand that sometimes these magazines can take some editorial decisions, but yeah, it's I always see Nicole, and she looks like she is she couldn't care less about anything. She couldn't care less about anything around her. So that is the vibe that she has. I think that somebody should troll her. That is not a good look. I mean, there is a way that she could change her expression. I think I had some before and after photos because she got something done. I'm gonna try to look for it because she used to have a normal face. I don't know if I can find this. Let's see very, very quickly. You know, the kind of things that you see on your timeline and then they're gone away. No, it's like I thought I could find it, but she used to have a much better smile, a much better face, and now she doesn't smile. When she smiles, it is basically it is not expressive at all. Just a last shot of this. Let me see. Somebody posted photos of her in the past, and no, none of them. Bad, tough luck. My bad. It was my bad that I did not bookmark it. But well, it seems that the reports, you know, that Brooklyn Beckham said that he was embarrassed by Victoria in his first dance with his wedding. The first dance was hijacked by Victoria, and we have the witness of what actually happened. And I need you to pay attention to what this guy is going to say. I want to make it very clear, so it's perfectly clear that he said, and there's other recollections that are confirming it. There was Mark Anthony who said himself, Victoria, come to the stage. It was Mark Anthony, for some reason, called Victoria to the stage to have that dance. And it seems that there are other reports that was actually not the first dance. It's a bit conflicted, but that is the reason why it was Victoria on the stage and not Nicola. They're a very dancey, close-knit family. So what was Mark Anthony's idea? This is vapid nothingness. Yeah, but it's good gossip. We need some gossip, you know, to wash away all the other news. We did it. This is like a reverse timeline. If you feel your feelings are more important than anything else, which no, the facts are more important than anything else. And there's again so many. Shout out to Fashionista Era, by the way. This British Vogue interview they did completely contradicts that. So either this dude is lying or they did in Vogue. Who is lying? We don't know. We have no idea. Also, Anwar Hadid's sister spoken on Nicola, ending an 8-paragraph rant about his family's dirty laundry with all we want is privacy is all I need to know. Alana Hadid wrote, right, that girl doesn't want privacy. She's trying to be famous for a decade. Skeletons are out. So yeah, this is again not going well. So Brooklyn is so dumb, says the British prince. It was okay for Nicola Pelt's family to demand that he sign a prenup, but when David and Victoria Beckham asked the couple to sign something that would protect everything they had built over 20 years, also protecting their son, Nicola created drama. Let's watch this.
Part 2, lawyer's response of why the Beckham name isn't just a last name. When a last name becomes a registered brand, Courts don't just look at the child, they look at the spouse. And that's where things can get serious. A lot of you also commented on the first video of how the Peltz name could potentially impact the Beckham brand. So when people say, why would a parent do this to their child? It's probably because they didn't want the Beckham name to be owned by someone who wasn't a Beckham. If Brooklyn commercially uses the name Beckham while married to Nicola and the brands grow within the marriage, it can become marital property. That means that in a divorce, the spouse can potentially claim a portion of the business, future earnings, or ongoing royalties tied to the name. So look at Gucci. The family allowed multiple family members to use the name independently. With marriages, divorces, and competing lawsuits, the courts ultimately stripped the family from the rights to use the name at all. That's also why brands like Chanel and Hermes protect the commercial rights to their name. So the question isn't why they would do this, it's whether a family brand can afford.
Yeah, it's a family brand. It all boils down to a brand is something that we have been talking about in other shows. Something normal. You build a brand. It's like I'm building a brand, for example. I wouldn't like my brand to be hijacked by some external forces. I don't know how to call it, but that is a thing. Because you have to build a brand with the blood, sweat, and tears. You don't want just this handed to people. We have this also Kate Beckinsale defending poor Nepo babies, as she's one of them, her words. And yeah, we know that Brooklyn is a Nepo baby, so I haven't watched this clip. I just wanted to share with you.
Press has invented this term Nepo baby. I'll say it. I'm a proud fucking Nepo baby. What I did was follow...
Why does she sound like Miley Cyrus?
In the family trade. My dad was a famous actor, my mom was an actress, my stepdad was a director. And it was lucky for me that their work was largely in the UK, and I chose quite young to come to America where nobody had heard of any of them. And I was able to carve out my own career.
Yeah, because people don't read newspapers or have, I don't know, magazines, or nobody knows what's going on the other side of the world, right?
Kind of away from that. And this was pre-social media as well, which was a gigantic advantage too. Plus which the term Nepo baby had not been invented. But anyway, before it's invented, you're still in any family with any successful parent. Say your dad's a really successful greengrocer, really successful doctor, really successful lawyer, really successful, I don't know, landlord. As the child, you still have to go through a process of self-differentiation to carve out your own identity and your own life that incorporates your family but also is separate from your family. And those kids don't get a chance. What they get from an excruciatingly young age is to be unfavorably compared with adult successful human beings.
It doesn't happen like that all the time. Because nepotism, yeah, that's exactly where it comes from. Oscar Gonzalez, that's exactly where it comes from. I think that's Stella McCartney. Stella McCartney did well in her own way, I think.
While they're going through puberty, or God knows what difficulties they're going through, on a public stage, and receive comments and hatred that would bury most people if they got one, and these kids get them in their thousands.
I think that she's getting that backwards. I think that there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of connections, a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things that you can take advantage of as a Nepo baby if you frame it the right way. If you feel like a victim, if you feel like, of course, it all boils down to the dynamics of the family. I mean, if your parents are assholes, it doesn't matter if they are rich and famous or they are broke and are infamous or nobody's. Your life is going to be miserable either way. That is the single most important thing. I think that is the single most important thing, because it could be a Nepo baby, but if you have a solid family structure and that can happen. That absolutely can happen. I'm not gonna say, oh, famous people are all empty, and no, that doesn't work like that. But if you are resentful in some way that you are constantly compared to your father, for example, maybe Brooklyn, that's what happened with him. Maybe he's just lazy, because if you have two options. When I tell you that I am not a specialist or an expert in the topic, but I think that a Nepo baby has two options. Either you do something completely different from your parents, which is one thing that you can do, or you try to insert yourself completely in the business of your parents in some way. Maybe not in a public way, but in a let's say, how to say this, in a behind the scenes way. It's a possibility as well, because why not? Then you can enjoy the fruits of the successful business of your parents, the success of your parents, and at the same time have your privacy, because that's what you ultimately want. But there's people like this, like Brooklyn, that is not exactly privacy what they want. They don't even know what they want. They don't even have an actual job. Brooklyn's choice to sign the prenup in 2022 means he will not gain any of the Pelt billionaire family fortune if he and Nicola were to split. Nicola Peltz is one smart girl. This man-child's only support will be his parents. His career is nothing without Beckham name. And that's exactly why Nicola married him. But well, that is the reality. It's pathetic. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. Oh my God, it was a nice show. Around a bit under 2 hours today. But yeah, there's a lot of things happening. You know that my main goal with this shows is to try to make sense of things that we can understand. We can understand people who want a baby, for example, and they cannot conceive a baby, and then they have to look for options. We can understand somebody who doesn't want to live under the shadow of his father, which could be hard in many ways. And I remember, for example, Jacob Dylan. I don't know where's Jacob Dylan right now, the son of Bob Dylan. I remember his the Wallflowers, One Headlight. What happened to that guy? I never heard from him again. It shouldn't be that way. They should be able to do their own thing, even if the same thing of their parents. Because what is the problem with that? That could be the problem with that. I don't know. I couldn't possibly know at the same time, but because I am as far away from a Nepo baby that I could be, so I can't possibly know what they're going through. And again, you could have two people who are sons or daughters of very famous parents, both parents, and have completely different family dynamics. Maybe one is doing great with that, maybe all the others not doing so great for totally different reasons. There's so much stuff that can happen that we can't possibly know. Thank you for being here, my lovely body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet another video, another live, remember the most important words. I don't know if I'm going to do lives this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to rest a bit. My voice is much better. I'm still my left ear still was clogged today. Right now it's a bit better. I don't know if I'm going to go live over the weekend, but if I go live, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be around 2 p.m. EST in all cases. Just so you know, if you want to know, maybe Jesus is gonna be live. If I'm live, it's gonna be at 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. 2 p.m., 4 p.m. EST. Probably. I still don't know. Maybe I want to work on other projects. I need to catch up with a lot of the stuff and maybe rest a bit and have a bit of time for myself. I don't know. Let me sort that out. Much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.